is obviously I did not want to make a business case after the fact, because obviously when things like when these kind of situations occur, they occur because someone like me, and it was me, that pushed this agenda. So I want to have clarity that the person at fault around this issue is me. The council is not to blame. It is me. I pushed this agenda, and I'll share with you just some insight. This may not make it any better, and you're exactly right. Didn't run on this issue. Wasn't even a really a high priority in my mind. After getting elected and then being in office and learning a great deal of history about our city and beginning to look at it from a standpoint of opportunity, began some discussions with council, who are elected representatives, who I believe when you're talking to council, you are talking to the people. I don't think I think that's an important point, that not every issue is always a issue that's always full blown. And the reason I mention that is there's no process for the charter conversation. The delegation, the state of Georgia delegation, has complete autonomy and authority to make the decision. And so, now, what the interesting pieces most relevant recently are the creation of the new city of Milton and of Sandy Springs, where there was a great deal of focus and intentionality on the charter. But that being said, going through it, there were a couple of problems that became paramount in my mind, and I think there were some excellent points made about not making a good business case and not coming to you as my fellow residents to inform you of it and of the urgency of it. So that is completely on me. I will tell you what informed my thinking. What became clear to me from behind the scenes as a newly elected mayor was that there was a real challenge and a reason why we had been ineffective in many ways in getting things done over the years, because there was not clear delineation, and there's a lot of history where the city administrator, and by the way, Mr. Knighton is an excellent man and does an excellent job, and we just barely have gotten to know each other, and we have a great working relationship. But the reality today is the charter presents itself is that if Mr. Knighton as the city administrator and myself as the mayor, and this has happened in the past, has happened recently, if we decide, hey, I've got more authority than you, the charter does not resolve that. And that showed up as a real problem in the last administration, because neither party, vis-a-vis the charter, had authority over the other. I'm a believer at the end of the day that the organizational chart is very simple. It is the people on top, and then they represent their representatives through the mayor and city council as their voice. And then the org chart goes from there. And so it's my perspective, and this is what I shared with the council, was that there was an immediate need to address that for our efficacy and efficiency going forward. I did not sell this to you. I did not inform you. I did not make a business case, and I did not make a gap analysis. And all those points are spot on. And I failed on that miserably with you, and you're 100% correct. I will share with you, obviously, that part of this is I'm asking for your ongoing trust, and that I'm not a big fan, as you probably know, the word of transparency, because I believe that actions are either credible or they're not. And what this evidence of the last weekend has shown is that it's shown a great lack of credibility, or dishonesty is what it has come across. What I want to share with you is I'm a resident just like you. My only ambition is to be a positive change agent in a very formidable way for the city along with this council. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything, but I hear you loud and clear on this process. This process was poor. The second thing that informed me on this process, on the urgency of it, was we have one of our colleagues who is medically not with us. And I intentionally don't comment on it because I want to protect him and his family. But I know this is problem. The problem in the charter is there's so much ambiguity in it, there's not a solution. And I know that the politics in our city are going to get worse and worse and intensify unless we solve that issue. It was a paramount issue for me. And it was the issue that was probably most widely commented on in an adversely manner. My perspective on it is that it's very common to have, and by the way, the third part was to create a clear separation between an executive branch and a legislative branch, the council, with the council still having ultimate authority. If you look through it, the council always has the ultimate authority, even on the veto part, always. So I would suggest that taking that analysis is recognizing that the power, the ultimate authority underneath the charter changes that I submitted always ultimately ended up with the council. The second part was to create some clarity of day-to-day operations. City administrator wanted to turn into a city manager, still runs the day-to-day operations of the city, but ultimately, if there's a push come to shove issue and the city administrator doesn't do something, the people have to have the ability to do that. Therefore, a clear define of roles of oversight. That was my thinking. There, I could go on and on and on about this, but I wanted to let you know it's not nefarious. It's my perspective as citizen that you've elected as mayor that I thought it was good for our city because of two immediate issues to me that if we don't deal with them, they're going to be problematic for our city. That was my thinking, and you can disagree with it, and I understand that. I definitely hear you that the process was poor, the process was not communicated, but it was not underhand. It was not meant to get anything by you. It was a reality was this has got to happen quick. State legislature's in for a very limited period of time. You're right. When I came in office on January the 1st, this was not a priority for me. And you know that our priorities are the 11 items on the 100-day action plan. Those are our priorities. For the very, very poor communication, it is completely on me. For the fact that this issue is before you as a people and before the city council, this issue is clearly on me. So let the blame fall on me and not on my fellow council, my colleagues on the council. I want to be clear on that. I don't want to take up too much of your time because it's Valentine's night. I do want to have committees so we can talk about it tomorrow. One of the things you probably heard is that we are changing to a people's calendar so people can be at meetings and not have meetings at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. And I'm sorry it's Valentine's Day. It really wasn't a thought. We were in Greenville working our tails off. I can't wait to share with you the agenda. I can't wait to share with you how much work there was between the staff and the city council. I think in the amazing things that we got done working on for the city that are going to unfold in front of you at committee meetings and in council meetings in the future. With that being said, I'll hush and I will ask for comments from our city council members.